Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Real Estate Machine Show. I am your host, Chris Matan. Thank you so much for joining me. We have a very, very special guest today, Matthew Beck. He is, just a quick little summary. He is our accountant, or actually our bookkeeper over here at the machine shop. He's been with us for the last, I'd probably say 3 or 4 years. And kind of really seen us through some good times and bad times, probably a little bit more in the bad times. And I really do credit a lot of his help along the way to kind of righting our ship a little bit and getting into a pretty good position here at the shop. So Matthew, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Chris, for the kind introduction. I've enjoyed working with yourself and your family over the last few years. It's been really exciting. When I first started, it was a little bit scary trying to go through some of those numbers and trying to piece it all together. A little bit of fear factor there, trying to say, okay, let's get all these numbers together, receivables, payables. But you know what? It's been a great experience. We're able to put the numbers together, get the financials, ready, and provide some clarity to your situation, kind of show you where you were, where you are, and more importantly, what you need to do to be successful. So once you have your numbers in hand, we have a little family meeting, we go over everything, and show you what you need to do to be successful. Kind of give you metrics that you need to look at. So look, based upon your profit and loss and your sales, this is how much you should be spending in each category. And, to your credit, you've taken it up, you've run with it, you've actually taken it inside and made a difference, and you've really prospered, and I'm really proud of yourself and your family to go from where you were to where you are now.
Yeah, it's interesting. You read and you talk about, when you're in business, you got to know your numbers and you got to keep them in front of you. And, sometimes the numbers demotivate you, but sometimes they inspire you. I find that when I look at them and I see them, you got a whiteboard up there, which was also one of your tips, if you will. You look at those numbers every day and you just want to improve upon them. And, that's been a major point of our, of our growth and our just kind of like trajectory, if you will. So that's been great.
It's not all about the numbers. We were just talking a little bit more. It's about not having as much stress, not having as much worry, not going home at the end of the day thinking, oh my God, even though my numbers are great, my stress level is through the roof. It's also about having a better family life and not getting into debates or arguments with spouses because you're not geared up, your family's not geared up, you're not all on edge. You have a problem, but you also have the solution. And I always find when I have a solution to something, I'm not as worried about it. I say, okay, I've got a problem, I got the solution. Now I simply have to execute the solution. So let's take this solution into small little bits, okay? This is what I'm gonna do today to solve the problem, at the end of the month, end of next month. And so long as you keep on your path, you'll find that you'll get to your goal. And that's what the whiteboard is about, that's behind you. Writing out your milestones, whether it's savings or receivables or payables, and having it in front of you reminds you of what you need to do. And I find that's been very, very helpful in my life. It could just be somebody jumps in and says, Matthew, do this urgently. I write it on the whiteboard, I'm done. But it could be more long-term planning. Where am I going to be in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? It's not just academic. It's written on the whiteboard. This is what I have. This is where I'd like to be. This is what actually materialized. And if it didn't materialize, it's okay. Then I can look and say, I thought this was going to happen. Why didn't it happen? And then I can make adjustments as necessary. So to me, it's not just about numbers, where are you at financially? It's also about where you are in your life and what are you doing to make your own living better, at home, with kids and with family and aunts and uncles, so you can relax and actually enjoy the barbecue. Go to somebody's birthday and not be stressed out about it. Hang on, I'm at a birthday, I got to take this business call, That shouldn't be happening. So it's more than just numbers.
Absolutely. And you know what, when you deal with a family business, and any of you out there that are watching that have experience with family businesses, and you've got, fathers and father-in-laws and mothers and brothers and cousins and all this kind of stuff, it's not easy. That's a whole nother element of stress that, that we're all involved with. But, it's nice to have somebody kind of on the outside help you guide. And, I've looked at Matthew not only as our bookkeeper and kind of as our, as our numbers guy, but, even as a coach. because a lot of the stuff that he comes, I really believe that he comes from a very good place, and a place of helping, and a place of support. And all the lessons that he's learned, that he's taught, shown us and taught us, we really tried to apply. And like I said, I mean, I look at you, Matthew, as a little bit of a coach too. So it's been a great relationship. It's been a really, really great run. How'd you tell us a little bit about how you got into this business? And you work for yourself. Did you start by working for somebody else? I know you came from Australia. Why don't you touch on that a little bit?
Well, just to give the overview, I was raised in Australia. My mom and dad were from Cleveland. Then they moved to Miami. And in fact, they had a bit of a family situation where they wanted to get away from Cleveland. They wanted to start their own life and do their own thing. So they moved to Florida in the 70s, and they were all happy, and they had a little block of land, and they were excited. But then suddenly my dad had the opportunity to move to Australia. He was a teacher, and the Australian government offered him the ability to take the family to Australia. So in 1971, we moved to Australia. I was raised there, did my primary school, secondary school, and went to the University of Queensland, where I studied accounting. So as a struggling college student, I was able to pick up work bookkeeping, for local bars and restaurants and hotels, and kind of do things on paper. They're always concerned with food costs and what does this cost to me? Whenever there was a problem, they all had the automatic response, we're going to get rid of the staff. And I'm like, if you get rid of the staff, you won't have anyone to work here. But we don't have enough income, so we're getting rid of the staff. And then I realized, if you get rid of the staff, you're giving worse customer service, less people want to come here, which is driving your income down. So for me, that point is where I learned it's not just about the numbers. I'm having a problem, but I'm not profitable, so just cut staff automatically. It was about thinking through the situation and giving advice to make better decisions. So as time went on, I did some bookkeeping, and I had the opportunity to travel around Australia. I went to work in the Great Barrier Reef on Hamilton Island, which is absolutely phenomenal, by the way. It's located, off Mackay. It's about an hour's boat ride, if you like. But it's got everything you need. So the idea at the time, if you happen to work there, they cover all your expenses except for food. So you can go, live, work, and you just pay for your food. So I was able to save up enough money. And at that time, my mother called me, and she said that her mother lives in the United States and that she was terminally ill. We should come immediately. So we came immediately, only to find out that my mother's mother, my grandmother, wasn't sick at all. She made up a story. And here we are. So I'm like, well, and first she's at the airport, and I'm excited to see her, but I thought, like, aren't you really sick? No, she's not actually really sick. And I thought, well, I just lost half my money in the exchange rate. So I had kind of mixed feelings. I'm here, I've left my life,
Oh my gosh.
but she's not actually sick. And it was just kind of this weird thing. So like in golf, you play the ball from where it is. If you chip one down the highway, you play it from down the highway. So I decided, to stay a while. I was a US citizen. I was born in this country. And before too long, I met somebody, got married, have a house and cat and fish tank. And then I decided to settle down, since I really enjoyed bookkeeping, because it was a peaceful, quiet pastime, that I would pick that up again. So in 2007, I did an internship with Interact Cleveland at the time, Interreligious Partners of Greater Cleveland, who was kind enough to give me the opportunity. And I got a lot of experience in the nonprofit world. But sadly, they were having financial issues, and so I needed to expand on that. So at the time, I ran some ads in the Plain Dealer, was able to secure leads and build up my own bookkeeping service. At no time did I think I was going to start a bookkeeping service. So at this whole experience, I thought, okay,
Yeah.
get some leads, we'll get going on it, we'll get a few customers. Well, over the course of time, we now have over 130 customers. I have 2 locations. I have 5 people helping me out. It's just kind of growing exponentially.
Wow.
And for me, it's not just the business, it's about the ability to help people and make a difference in somebody's life. We're fortunate enough to have excellent customers who really value our help. And so for me, that's the reward. The reward is not that I balance some guy's checkbook. Yes, I've got this down to the cent. That's really great. Even though the little message on QuickBooks says congratulations. It's more about a service and making a difference. And so that's what I enjoy.
Yeah. Well, that's why you've seen success, because when you go at it that way, in that mindset, that's where the success comes from. So, I try to live by that as well. So that's a great story. I come from I mean, obviously you're born in this country, you were raised in another country, but I come from an immigrant family as well. So, that whole dynamic is interesting. It's always been something that I've, that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And fascinating. And, that work ethic, when you come from, whether you're born in this country or not, when you came, as a young man or however old you were when you got here, you basically had to start from scratch. And, you took on the American dream, and, God bless you for it. You know what I mean? Great story.
Well, we had a family business in Australia growing up. We had a poultry farm, and I remember the family dynamic. It's harder when it was a family business.
Yeah.
It was a little more challenging. I couldn't necessarily tell Dad, this is not a good way to go, because the nature of my father wasn't going to hear it. It was kind of militant. You do what I say, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
But when I moved to this country, I had the support of my relatives who happened to live in Lorain County, who really made it possible. I stayed with them. I was able to get the hang of driving on the other side of the road, get the feel for the nation a little bit, get a feel for how things are done. Because Americans are not Australians. They look at things a lot differently. I would say Australia is much more laid back. If you don't get it done today, get it done tomorrow. If you don't get it done tomorrow, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's not something I've seen since I've been here. It's kind of like, get it done today, before you leave.
Yeah,
Haven't you done that yet?
Yeah.
But over the course of time, with family support and my wife's support, we got married in 96, and just building it up, and having this family support makes a difference. Because you don't want to fight the battle of work and then fight the battle at home, and then the battle of work is then you're just going to, burn yourself out. But I don't attribute my success to myself. It's the people around me who have made it possible, who have been supportive. When things were ugly, they were there. They could have easily said, look, I don't know what you're doing. It seems like a stupid idea. You're not making anything at this, But fortunately, they didn't talk me out of it. They were like, just, if you find yourself in hell, keep going. Kind of the Winston Churchill expression,
Yeah.
Just keep going. It'll get better. And perseverance has seen me through, and that's what I try and show other people. Just persevere. If it's worth persevering, if it's worth doing, just keep going.
Yeah. Totally agree. So listen, let's why don't you give the audience an idea of where they can reach you, and what services you do offer.
Absolutely. The name of my company is Park East Bookkeeping. Our phone number happens to be 440-533-9224. Our website is cleveland-bookkeeping.com. There's three main areas that I help folks out with. One is catch-up bookkeeping. I run into people who are behind since the 90s. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Not everyone is good at bookkeeping. And so I simply solve the problem. I figure out, could we get access to the statements, get everything we need, we put it together, and most jobs are done, within 2 to 4 weeks. So catch-up bookkeeping is the first thing. Then I specialize in part-time bookkeeping. Our whole business is based on folks who don't need a full-time bookkeeper, because we just do part-time bookkeeping. And then virtual bookkeeping. So folks who just want to remote in or let me remote in, with QuickBooks Online, that's the best way. And this way we have customers who are interstate as well. They simply upload the documents to a drive, share the drive. I go into QuickBooks Online and take care of it. But most importantly, it's not the bookkeeping. Then we have meetings to go over the numbers, to guide you, to share with you, to show you what you need to do, to give you a plan. So you don't feel like you're in it all by yourself. You don't have to play Eric Carmen songs in the background, You do have someone here to help you out,
Exactly. All right. Well, listen, everybody, Matthew Beck, Park East Bookkeeping. If you want to reach out to him, please do. He's been, an absolute godsend for us. Very, very happy with his service. He's become a friend and a coach. And, until then, Matthew, thank you for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed yourself, right? And we'll catch up with everybody real soon. Have a great day.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for your time, Chris. Thank you for having me.